Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, I'm gonna talk about an interview that I saw with Eddie Hearn. I believe it was Champside um, who conducted the interview. And Eddie Hearn was talking about why Canelo Alvarez didn't fight Demetrius Andrade. And it was a very interesting, very interesting interview, actually. Um, and Eddie Hearn gave the reasons. Basically, firstly, Eddie Hearn, and I'll do a separate video about this tomorrow, actually, because Eddie Hearn actually talks about, the fact that Charlo's being avoided. Nobody wants to fight. Guys, by the way, give this video, smash the like button on this video. Let's get this video to crazy amount of likes. But yeah, I want to touch on this because I think Andrade is clear to see that not many people want to fight Andrade. He's a very dangerous, tricky fight. And Eddie Hearn, firstly, Eddie Hearn avoided the original question to why Canelo didn't fight Andrade. And he went on to see that Andrade's a very tricky fight, and guys like Charlo and Golovkin are ducking him. They don't really want to fight him. And then the guy that was asking the questions actually asked him again and said, why didn't the Canelo fight happen? And Eddie Hearn replied, is because Canelo was struggling to make weight. Canelo moved up, I believe, after the Jacobs fight. Did he move up to fight Kovalev? To 175. There was an opportunity there for him to win a title. And Canelo Alvarez went up to 175 and beat Sergey Kovalev at 175 to become a 4-division world champion. He fought Sergey Kovalev, knocked him out. Then he came back down. Then who did he fight after that? Did he fight Rocky Fielding? I can't remember who he fought after Sergey Kovalev. But after after Sergey Kovalev, if I'm not mistaken, Canelo Alvarez stayed at 168. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I can believe it. I can believe it. Now, Canelo Alvarez, what a lot of people don't understand is I saw Christian in the live stream say, well, Canelo Alvarez is, I think was it in the live stream or on Facebook? I can't remember. He said that, Canelo Alvarez is 5'8". Your height doesn't determine, your bone structure. Mike Tyson, what was he? 5'8"? And he was a heavyweight. Canelo Alvarez has got a very dense, his bone structure is like, he's a huge guy. I remember a video that I saw on I can't remember who it was. Who it was. That I saw a YouTube video a long time ago. And this person was actually saying Canelo Alvarez is bigger than Carl Froch. If you look at Canelo Alvarez's neck, if you look at Canelo Alvarez's bone structure, he's just a big guy. He's a big guy. Your height doesn't determine your size. When Canelo Alvarez fights at 168, although those guys are bigger in terms of height, they don't necessarily look bigger in body mass. Yeah, of course, if I'm taller than you, I'm going to look bigger because I'm taller, right? That's natural. But Canelo Alvarez, when he's at that weight, he looks like he's at that weight. Like, he looks big. Like, he's not undersized, or he's not... Yeah, those guys are bigger because they're taller. But his body mass doesn't look like he's undersized. He's big. His bone structure is he's got his bones. He's a big dude. Canelo Alvarez is not a small guy, irrespective of his height. That's why a lot of people... And the way he's built like a tank. He's built like a tank. And Canelo Alvarez, don't mistake him just because he's not that tall, that he's not a big guy. He's a big guy. His bone structure and everything, he's a big dude. Right? You might be 5'8", doesn't mean you're built like Canelo. Canelo is built like his bone structure. And even when I saw Canelo when he was young, you could tell from his face, from his body, like he was a stocky built, like he was a big guy, So it doesn't surprise me that Canelo was struggling to make 160. I actually don't know how he was making 154. I don't know how he was making that weight. Like, I remember when I saw him fight Amir Khan, and he looked like he looked when he fought Amir Khan, he looked drained. Like he looked like, whoa, he needed a burger. You know what I mean? He needed to eat. That's how it looked like when he was on the weigh-in against Amir Khan, and that was ages ago. You know, I actually think he was struggling making 155. Then he moved up to 160. And like I said, I think Canelo probably walks around at 190. I won't be surprised, maybe more. He's a big guy. You know, look at the way he looks on the scales at 168. Like, absolutely shredded. There isn't an ounce of fat on him. You know, so Canelo Alvarez he's a beast. You know, he's a big guy. So it doesn't surprise me that Canelo Alvarez was struggling to make weight. That doesn't surprise me at all. I actually think there was an opportunity there. It may have been, listen, he may have been able to fight Andrade for the undisputed, but the opportunity to fight Kovalev may have been greater because it was more money and it was a chance for him to become a champion in another weight class. And once he went to 175, there was no way back. Because when you go to 175, you ain't going to come back down to 160. Impossible. It's impossible because he would have put on muscle and it just wouldn't have been possible for him to come back down to 160. So I think he made the right move to go to 168. Now, Canelo's not going to go back down to 160. Those guys are going to have to move up to see him. And that's if Canelo decides to stay at 168. Canelo might go to 175. You know, but the problem is, and Eddie Hearn was right in what he said after, you can't really doubt Canelo Alvarez's resume because Canelo Alvarez, it's like with Golovkin and Charlo, I can understand because their resumes haven't been great. Canelo Alvarez has fought Billy Joe, Caleb Plant, and he's fought Callum Smith. So these were 3 undefeated world champions that he fought. 3 undefeated world champions. And now he's talking about Beterbiev, Benavidez. He's talking about these type of names. That's who Canelo's talking about next. So we can't sit here and criticize what Canelo's doing because Canelo's fighting undefeated world champions. We have to talk about the other guys like Andre, and plus Canelo's not at 160 anymore, so it's irrelevant. But at the time, Canelo made the decision because he was struggling to make weight to move up to 175. I actually think there was an opportunity there for Canelo to become a champion in another weight class, and he thought, why not? I'll take it. I'll go up and fight Kovalev. Which, by the way, was a brave move. Bernard Hopkins said he may be biting off more than he can chew. This is what Bernard Hopkins said. And people say Kovalev was washed up. Yeah, okay. He may have not been at his best. But at the time, there was a lot of people that thought that Kovalev may beat him. The size difference may be too much. There was many people at the time that thought Kovalev may beat Canelo. And yeah, Kovalev was coming off a hard fight against Yard. But he knocked Yard out. And if Kovalev was so concerned, Kovalev would have asked for the fight. You know, he would have said no and said, let's fight in December or January. So, to be honest with you, I don't really matter because since then, Canelo's gone on to beat Kovalev and then he's gone on to become undisputed at 168. So you can't really look at Canelo and knock him for what he's done because what he's done is unbelievable since moving up from 160. What Andrade, Golovkin, and Charlo listen, Eddie Hearn's right that it's not Andrade's fault. Like nobody even wants to mention his name. He said Charlo's ducking Andrade, and he said Golovkin's kind of avoiding Andrade. I'll do a separate video about that tomorrow, but. Those are the fights to make, right? And those guys can fight each other, but they don't want... I feel like Andrade wants to fight those guys. Maybe there's a reluctancy. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to fight each other, increase your profile, increase your name, get a bigger payday, and become a unified champion if you believe in yourself and you believe you're gonna win. But I don't really feel like Jamal Charlo's really that interested in that Andrade fight, if I'm honest with you. Um, I don't know. Maybe because he thinks it's a hard fight to make because they're not on the same network. I don't know. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? But yeah, what do you guys make of Eddie Hearn saying that Canelo was struggling to make weight? That's why the Andrade fight didn't happen. Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.